First tonight, many are right now making preparations to gather around the table for a Thanksgiving dinner.
Now, this is happening as the U.S. Department of Agriculture is predicting a turkey shortage. Clara Faith joining us live from Kettering. And Clara, how much are we going to have to pay for that turkey?
The U.S. Department of Agriculture reports that turkey cost is up 23% since last year, while some farmers are being impacted by the bird flu. Because of this, local meat shops or owners say some customers are doing non-traditional Thanksgiving dinners. The owner of Brooks Cuts and Crave Meat Shop in Vandalia says some farms have increased prices by $1.
We have seen an increase in turkey prices. They have gone up, and there are allocations. This year, from the farms that we use, tended to be on the smaller side. So in previous years, they've had an abundance of larger turkeys. This year, it's mid-range to smaller range turkeys.
So, Clara, should shoppers be concerned about the turkey shortage ahead of the holiday?
Shoppers should remain calm. Chances are that you are going to be able to find a turkey before Thanksgiving holiday, but it may be just a little bit smaller. Now back to you guys in studio.
Clara, thanks so much. A snowstorm is now being blamed for at least 2 deaths in New York State. More than 4 feet of snow has fallen in some parts. The snow has brought traffic to a standstill on major roads, knocked down trees, damaged properties, and knocked out power as those temperatures continue to plunge there. And just within the last hour, officials providing an update saying the storm is now on the move. That's actually a positive sign for areas that found themselves covered in snow today.
And it does give us some hope that the next 24 hours will be much better, even though we know that snow is still going to end up falling at various times in the region that has been hit the hardest.
About 6 million people in 6 Great Lakes states are now under snow alerts.
Well, snow is certainly not the worry tonight. It is the cold, and it's only going to get colder as the night progresses here.
That's right. It's pretty frigid out there. Could see a few flurries out there as we head into the day tomorrow as well, but nothing compared to what they saw in Buffalo. And in fact, it's something they haven't seen in a very long time as well, at least in recorded history for us. This is a look at the record lake effect snow that they did see in New York State. So as far as New York goes, this is a new record, unofficial, but 66 inches. So that's how tall I am. That's how much snowfall they have seen in 24 hours. That's a lot of snow in a short amount of time. And the previous record for New York State is 50 inches in 24 hours. So they shattered that record. That was back in 1966. As far as what's going on for us, just a few light flurries. You can see some of the heavier snow bands still continuing over the Buffalo area. We're in the 20s right now. Teens in Troy, feels like temperatures, they're going to be in the single digits as we look into the overnight hours, officially dropping to 19 for our overnight low in Dayton.
Natalie, thanks. Bond has been set at $500,000 for a Preble County woman accused of killing her grandmother. Police say 35-year-old Heidi Matheny admitted to drowning 93-year-old Alice Matheny. They say Heidi was one of the caretakers and was tired of caring for her grandmother. She's now being held in the Preble County Jail on murder charges.
The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting in Harrison Township this afternoon. It happened here along Valerie Arms Drive. The sheriff says the owner of a car actually caught a guy trying to steal his catalytic converter and confronted him about it. That then led to a fight, and eventually the owner shot the suspect in the leg. He was taken to the hospital where he is suspected to survive. The authorities are now investigating, and the shooting, it is considered a self-defense.
Meanwhile, the Dayton Police Department has been cracking down on car thefts. DPD taking to Twitter to provide an update on this. Within the last month, the department says it's recovered 21 stolen cars. They've also made 20 arrests for grand theft auto. According to the department, since the crackdown began, vehicle theft has dropped 15% in the city of Dayton.
Well, for the first time, we're seeing from the perspective of an injured deputy who was shot yesterday in Chillicothe. The Ross County Sheriff's Office just releasing body camera footage of the incident. Kate Seifert has the update.
Tonight, Sergeant Eric Cochran is at a Columbus area hospital in serious condition after being shot outside the Ross County Sheriff's Department. The suspect, 42-year-old Nicholas Mitchell, has died. We are still waiting for more answers from the Ohio BCI, but we're seeing new video this evening that shows the exchange between the two men.
Hi. Hey, buddy. Can you help me out something real quick? Can you get a couple more officers?
What's going on?
Somebody said they're going to hurt my family. They wanted me to hurt kids, and I can't do it.
Okay.
So I got to do this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Put that down. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down, buddy. Put it down.
Ross County Sheriff George Lavender Jr. on Twitter sending a message of thanks to the agencies that assisted and asking for prayers for Sergeant Cochran as he recovers. There are still many unanswered questions about this incident, but we'll have to wait for more updates from BCI, which is continuing to investigate this. In Columbus, I'm Kate Seifert.
Closing arguments happening today in the trial against Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes. Rhodes and 4 associates are facing charges, all stemming from the January 6th Capitol riots. Prosecutors say the Oath Keepers plotted for weeks to interrupt the transfer of power from former President Trump to Joe Biden. But defense attorneys have argued there is not sufficient evidence to show the Oath Keepers had a plan to attack the Capitol before January 6th.
Attorney General Merrick Garland appointing veteran career prosecutor Jack Smith to take over the ongoing investigation into former President Trump's handling of classified documents and his conduct on and around January 6th. Now, Garland says a decision to hire a third party to oversee the probe comes after Trump announced that he is running for president again in 2024. So who is this special counsel, Jack Smith? Well, he was appointed first assistant United States attorney for the Middle District of Tennessee back in 2015. From 2010 to 2015, he was the chief of the public integrity section at the Justice Department. Prior to that, Smith was investigation coordinator in the office of the prosecutor at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. He also held a number of roles in the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York.
And the White House says it was not given notice of the Attorney General's decision to name a special counsel to oversee those investigations involving former President Trump. Those probes cover Trump's handling of classified documents and his conduct on and around January 6th. The White House press secretary declining to give a reaction to the announcement.
Again, this is going to be up to the Attorney General, up to the Department of Justice as it relates to a criminal investigation. But I can tell you that the President was not aware, we were not aware, we were not given advance notice, and I would refer you to Department of Justice.
The appointment comes just days after Trump announced he would run for president in 2024. Garland says Trump's candidacy, as well as President Biden's intention to run for re-election, made the naming of a special counsel necessary. Trump says he will not take part in the investigation.
Well, for the first time, we're seeing video from the moment police arrested a man accused of taking a box cutter onto a flight out of CVG. This video actually comes from Atlanta police. Authorities say William Leibish pulled out a box cutter on a flight from Cincinnati to Tampa, threatening to stab passengers and crew members. The plane then had to be diverted to Atlanta. Leibish is now charged with interfering with the duties of the flight crew by assaulting or intimidating members. TSA says agents did not follow proper protocol during his flight screening and are going to need to be retrained.
We are learning more about the final hours for 4 University of Idaho students who were killed. Police releasing a map showing the exact locations of the victims that night for the first time. That timeline shows the precise movement of all 4 victims in the hours before their deaths. Police say all the victims were home by 1:45 a.m. and that their bodies were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. But the biggest question is, who killed them and why?
We still contend that this was targeted. We cannot divulge the information of why we believe that or how. That is integral to this investigation.
The county coroner says that some of the students likely had defensive stab wounds to their hands. Now, there were no signs of sexual assault or an issue of drugs or alcohol.
The Food and Drug Administration warning of a medication shortage tonight. Adderall and amoxicillin are just some of the medications in low supply, and experts say it is cause for concern. Mamie Ba is at Dayton Children's after speaking with doctors and pharmacists.
The popular children antibiotic is in high demand, but supply is low. I'm told when children become ill, it's hard to sometimes determine whether it's a bacterial infection or a viral infection, so amoxicillin is often prescribed. So right now, with the flu, COVID, and RSV, the triple-demic, it's just a perfect storm.
We're seeing a lot of respiratory illnesses, primarily due to viruses, some with secondary bacterial infections as well, or maybe, infection with viruses and bacteria. And so using a lot of amoxicillin to treat those types of infections.
Another drug that's also in short supply is Adderall. The FDA says that could last up to 30 to 60 days. Back to you.
Mamie, thanks. Pharmaceutical companies are researching a rare side effect linked to the COVID-19 vaccines. According to the CDC, myocarditis, or the inflammation of the heart muscle, is considered a rare but serious potential side effect from the mRNA vaccines like Pfizer or Moderna. The CDC says it occurs more frequently in adolescents and young male adults. Now, Pfizer and Moderna are conducting clinical trials to learn more about the heart issues, track any health problems years after the diagnosis.
Most cases of vaccine-induced myocarditis, we don't really know exactly how it works. We think it's some sort of immune reaction to the protein spike. They usually run their own course, and within a couple of months, they get better on their own. There have been a very rare couple of reported deaths, and there are several cases of people who have long-term heart problems as a result, but the majority of them get better on their own.
The CDC says of the hundreds of millions of COVID vaccine doses given in the U.S. since late 2020, there have been around 1,000 reports of heart inflammation in those under 18.
Ohio health officials are battling a measles outbreak as more and more children fall sick. Today, a spokesperson for the Columbus Public Health Department said 19 kids are confirmed to have the viral disease. Officials say more cases are suspected at 10 daycare centers and 2 schools. Just on Thursday, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that it is aware of the outbreak and was deploying a small team to Ohio to assist on the ground with the investigation.
After many run into Ticketmaster problems, Taylor Swift is responding. What the singer has to say about the platform's handling of her tickets.
And giving back to the community ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Ahead, we break down how many families were fed during this special event.
And I'm tracking that cold weather through the rest of this weekend when we finally warm up. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Kettering Health Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
All right, Taylor Swift reacting publicly for the first time following a week of waiting and disappointment for her fans. Lydia Bice here at the Now Desk. And Lydia, why are fans so upset?
Well, pre-sale tickets for Swift's The Eras Tour went on sale this week, but many fans waited hours to try and get tickets, often coming up empty-handed because of issues with Ticketmaster's platform. Tickets for West Coast shows were postponed on Tuesday and Thursday, with Ticketmaster announcing that it was canceling Friday's public sale for Swift tickets because of the extraordinarily high demands.
Okay, so what did she have to say about these issues then?
Well, today she released a statement in her Instagram story. In part of the statement, she says, "I'm not going to make excuses for anyone because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could." She later goes on to say that she was upset by the lengths people had to go through to get those tickets.
All right, Lydia, thanks so much. Live pictures now over downtown Troy tonight. You can see the holiday tree is up and it's all ready for the holiday season. Looks beautiful, like a nice wintry scene out there. But before we start talking about the weather again, we want to go to Natalie, who is with the newest member of our Dayton 24/7 Now team.
That's right. I am here with Timothy Boyd. He is the newest member of our First Warning weather team. He debuts tomorrow evening, so be sure you tune in. So you just moved to Ohio not too long ago, right?
A couple years ago from North Carolina, yeah.
From North Carolina, and you went to Ohio State.
Correct.
Yes, studying
Go Bucks.
atmospheric science. So yes, you wear red during, the football games and everything, right?
Yes, you got to wear red. You got to support.
That's right. But as far as the weather goes, you pretty much love it here because we get the best of all four seasons, right?
Yeah, down south it's warm all the time, even in the winter. You get like a week of cold air, and then here we have seasons. The one thing I would like is hurricanes, because those are my favorite. So hurricanes, severe snowstorms, but
well, hopefully we can get a good winter storm in.
I will take
Not
that,
quite what they're experiencing up to the northeast. But
yeah, that's crippling. I don't want that.
Yeah, a little cold out here today, though, and we are going to continue to see the cold as we head into this upcoming weekend. Here's a look at our satellite and radar, where we do have the cloud cover, even a couple of flurries that are moving their way through, but we will eventually start to see some clearing as we head into the overnight hours. Bigger picture here, taking a look at those lake effect snow bands. You can see up in Wisconsin, they're going to be, or up in Michigan, they're dealing with that, as well as in New York. Buffalo still dealing with very heavy snowfall due to the warm lakes and this very cold air that's moving over it, and that will be the trend even as we head into the day tomorrow as well. For us here, different story. We'll fall into the teens overnight. 30s as we head into the day tomorrow. It does look like we'll see a few clouds, even a couple of flurries stream through as we head into tomorrow evening with a cold front, and believe it or not, even colder as we wake up on our Sunday morning.
Natalie, thanks. The National Museum of the United States Air Force holding a dedication ceremony today for its newest aircraft. This was for the A-1H Sky Raider, a plane that was used for search and rescue missions in Southeast Asia. Before other aircrafts would be sent for downed airmen, the Sky Raider would clear the way for help to arrive. Those who flew in that plane were in attendance to see it restored and spoke to us about what that aircraft means to them.
The mission was just spectacular, so when I look up and I see it, I think of the men down on the ground that were able to survive and not end up in the Hanoi Hilton because of the job that the people flying this airplane did.
Now you can see the A-1H Sky Raider at the Air Force Museum for no charge, because admission to the museum is free for all ages.
The Dayton unit of the NAACP hosting a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway for local families. Participants were able to pull up and receive a free Thanksgiving dinner for this year's holiday.
So this is our third annual turkey giveaway, and we want to make certain that we did our part. There's a lot of organizations out here that are giving turkeys away in this day and time to families that are in need, and or families that cannot get out to a store. And so we want to do our part by giving individuals turkeys so they can have a happy and decent dinner next week.
Well, it is estimated about 200 families were served during this special event.
And help is coming to those in need in Washington Township. The radio station 92.1 collecting canned goods and winter clothing for the Good Neighbor House. This is happening at the location of the Woodland Lights holiday event, which kicked off tonight near the Washington Township Recplex.
We've got all 5 of the radio stations out here, so we're doing live breaks in, letting everyone know, letting people know what kind of food donations we're getting and what we aren't getting. So if anyone can stop by the store and pick up some things on their way out to Woodland Lights, we would definitely appreciate the help.
This is the 7th year for 92.1's Holiday Help Out. They have a second location at the Trotwood Firehouse to collect donations. The proceeds usually benefit around 110 families a year.
Bo Townsend Ford holding a grand opening of its new quick lane facility in Vandalia. The new 20,000 square foot building is going to feature tire and auto services, as well as the Miami Valley's only dedicated Ford commercial sales and service facility.
We are having a grand opening for our quick lane. You know, our service department's been overwhelmed with a lot of work. And so this has been an overflow for the maintenance. So, you know, we're going to do a lot of diesel work and commercial trucks repair here.
So Bo Townsend's quick lane facility will be opened weekdays and Saturdays and can service all vehicle manufacturers.
Live look from our Kettering Health Skycam now. Another cold evening, and it's going to be very cold if you have to get up early in the morning tomorrow. Right, Natalie?
That is right. I know there is a parade tomorrow morning that lots of people are going to be going to. So make sure you are bundled up if you are heading out tomorrow, because we do have some bitterly cold wind chills in the forecast. So teens in the forecast around midnight for our wind chills, and then waking up likely single-digit wind chills as you head out early tomorrow morning. Some improvement, feeling like teens through the afternoon, some 20s, and then as we head into our Sunday morning, we even have single-digit to below zero wind chills in the forecast. Some improvement Sunday afternoon, but it's really not until Monday we start to see things warm up even more. Here's a look at our temperature forecast. Over these next several days, we do have those 30s and 20s over these next couple of days, and then heading into next week, feeling a whole lot better. 40s on Monday, 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Natalie, thanks. Multiple high school teams are still fighting for the opportunity to win a state title. Ahead, we break down what it took to move on to the next round.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good evening, I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. Round 4 of the high school football playoffs. It's the regional championships, and just like last week, only 4 of the divisions playing their games tonight. The other 3 divisions are tomorrow. One of the matchups tonight was a rematch from the regular season. Piqua was where Milton Union faced Valley View. The Bulldogs won in Germantown back in week 2. Spartans have the ball first. Caden Henson in the pocket. Not long before he finds himself under pressure, but he's able to get out of the pocket and scramble to his right, putting up a deep pass from Micah Valenti. It is caught for a first down inside the 10-yard line, a goal-to-go situation. But later on that drive, Henson under pressure again, scrambling again, throws over the middle, picked off by Cooper Brown. However, the Bulldog offense would have to punt on Valley View's second drive. Going forward on 4th down, Henson downfield to Austin Stidham, who gets hands on the ball, but Bulldog defenders forcing the incompletion and a turnover on downs. It's scoreless after 1, but second quarter, Stidham takes the direct snap in motion, finding enough space on the far side for the touchdown. Valley View is on the board first. They lead 7-0. Then the Bulldogs' ensuing drive, Nate Border looking to his left, completes the pass to Blake Brumbaugh, who shakes one defender, able to maneuver around several more defenders and pick up the first down out near midfield. This drive will continue into the red zone. Jordan Foose with the carry up the middle, breaking tackles and in for the touchdown. 7-7 tie at halftime, but Valley View making plays in the second half to win 21-7 the final, and the Spartans will face Ironton in the state semifinals next Friday. That game will be at Princeton. Tippecanoe taking on Dayton at Trotwood. This for the Region 12 championship. Dayton's Carter Russo running wide to his left to put Dayton up 10-3 in the second quarter. However, Tippecanoe would answer back. Liam Peronsky launching the ball to Lucas Mary for 25 yards. That ties the game at 10-all. Later, Dayton's Alex Ritzy rolls out for a throw. Carson Robbins jumps into the lane for an interception. However, Dayton would get the ball right back as Xavier Jones not on the same page on this handoff play, resulting in a fumble. However, the Tip defense, just like last week, they come up big twice. First, Kayliette running down Ritzy for a sack on 3rd down, and then the Red Devil D getting their hands to block a field goal. We go to halftime, tied at 10 to the third quarter. Ritzy goes for a throw. The ball deflects into the hand of Robbins for another pick. However, that same play, he ends up fumbling the ball back, giving Dayton the ball right back, and Dayton taking advantage of their good fortune. Ritzy throws to Austin Buckle, who takes it in to break the tie. Dayton back in front 17-10, but on the very next drive, Liam Peronsky answers the call, finding Evan Liette for the touchdown, and Tippecanoe kicks a late field goal to win. Final score 20-17. Red Devils will take on Bloom Carroll in the semifinals. In Division 1, Springfield facing Olentangy Liberty. Bryce Schondelmeyer in untouched from a yard out. They're out to a 7-0 lead. And then Springfield once again with the ball at 1 yard line. Javen Norman with the carry, punching it in. Springfield out to a 14-0 lead. Third quarter now, Schondelmeyer searching and finding Anthony Brown in the back of the end zone. Springfield up 21-0. In the fourth, Olentangy Liberty gets on the board. Andrew Leonard to Evan Nelson, but that will be as close as the Patriots would get. Springfield wins their 4th straight regional title, 35-7. They will face Moeller at Piqua next Friday.
Well, it's time now for your TikTok of the day. Have you ever seen a wavy cloud? Well, if not, I'm going to tell you all about it. Have you ever seen these wavy clouds like in this picture here? These are asperatus clouds, and they're actually the most recent cloud to be added to the World Meteorological Organization's Cloud Atlas. Now, these clouds form when there's some turbulence and wave-like motion going on in the atmosphere, and they look fairly ominous, but are typically
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
While the lights are shining brighter than ever at the Cincinnati Zoo, the PNC Festival